How's everyone doing today? So today we're going to be tackling a project on the Jeep with my WeBoost. So I know when I did the walkthrough on the video, I talked about, you know, the different add-ons I did to the vehicle. So the WeBoost has kind of been giving me a little bit of difficulty when I'm on trail. Did a little bit of research and found out that my antenna placement has been the culprit. So I have the antenna, the main antenna that picks up the signal on my spare tire carrier. From there, there's an internal antenna, and I was running it right here by the roll bar. And what everybody is telling me on the forums is that it is too close together and I'm getting feedback, and that's causing the WeBoost to go in and out of service and not do what it needs to do. So today we're going to be taking that antenna from here and moving it either up here or right here, and hopefully, you know, that 24 inches 32 inches worth of space will be enough to solve the feedback issue. So I'm gonna get the GoPro set up so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. It should be fairly simple, and then we'll do a couple tests, and I'll walk you guys through how to test to see if you are getting feedback. All right, y'all, I hope you can see that. So all I've done so far is everything's done with Velcro, because this thing's covered in Velcro, is I've undone all of my zip ties, and I'm going to try to pull everything forward without breaking this wire. Uh-oh, I can get it moved all the way up. Let's see here. Beautiful North Carolina weather today. Windy and 50 degrees. Put this over that carrier. Tuck all of this up. And then we're going to turn it on. I'll bring you guys with me so you can see the lights. So back here is where I have the WeBoost brain, and when you turn it on, it'll flash red and green, and then it goes solid green, and that means that there's a good signal. What I need to do, because even before just sitting parked, I could get, you know, a boosted signal, but the minute I start moving, I would notice that the signal would drop, and then this thing would go to a solid red, which means that feedback error. And then I think it would flash as well. But we're gonna get everything cleaned up, all the wires kind of tidied up temporarily, and we're gonna take it on a little bit of a drive. I'm hoping to find some areas that don't have very good cell service so I can actually try it out. But I think I'm gonna be pretty good with that movement there. I at least hope so. And like I said, it's just, I've ran it up the side of the roll cage because I don't have anybody in the back here. It's just the Dometic. Over here I just store like solar panels, my battery generator, and then run everything up and then through that overhead storage compartment, and then just Velcroed up there. But we'll see if that works out for me. Alright guys, so I kind of brought you back a little bit early before we got on the road. Got in the vehicle, started up, noticed some shaking up front. I know you guys saw these KC headlights that I have. What I've done in the past to mount them is actually using nut certs, and I noticed that the bolt that holds the mount in place has started coming loose, and shaky lights. I don't like shaky lights. It bothers me to my soul. So we're gonna get this fixed real quick, and then we will take the Jeep down the road. Hopefully we find some place nearby where I can fly the drone, get some nice good drone footage, and test out that WeBoost and make sure it's working all right. I know everybody's probably screaming at me too, Wes, use Loctite. I don't like Loctite because every now and then I get a hair up my you know what and decide to try to redo things, move things around, try different lighting options, and I've just had bad experiences with thread locker on small, like 10mm bolts. So we're not doing that. We're just going to go German specs, good and tight, and see how she flies. These KC lights have actually been one of my favorite lights I've ever put on an off-road vehicle. They throw light pretty well. The only downfall to them is because the mount is so small, like where they actually mount on your vehicle. Wind, huge impact on these lights. When I first installed them, I thought I had them nice and tight. Jumped on the interstate for like a 15-20 minute ride. By the time I got done, they were leaned back like this. So if you are going to get some, just keep that in mind, that there is constant adjustment with them. Might as well check this one too while we're at it. Let me scoot you guys over so you can see. Hopefully you guys can see that. If not, yell at me in the comments. Yeah, this one's loose too. Those of you who have watched a couple of videos, what did you guys think of the, was it Gold Camp Road out there in Colorado? I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Went out there to see my brother, and you know, he's been yelling at me from the last time he was stationed there to this time he's out there. I mean, he's just been up my butt about, hey, come out to Colorado, it's gorgeous. Come on out here. And I mean, I'm glad I did, but you know, what do you guys think? I know today when I talked to him right before I started this video, he called me. He's actually working on a 92 Jeep YJ. He had a catastrophic transmission failure while driving down the road. Yeah, my brother, if anybody knows me, they know my brother has very bad luck when it comes to transmissions. 3 years ago, he had 2001 F350 with a 7.3 in it. Was coming back on New Year's. Hit Emporia, North Carolina. I don't know if most of you guys should probably know that, right there at the Virginia-North Carolina border. You know, about 10:30 at night, calls me and says, hey, I think my transmission let go. And sure enough, it did. So he had to put a transmission in that, and then he got a 92 Ford Bronco that was in that video, the OJ, and I yelled at him, hey dude, like why don't you get something reliable, like get something as a daily where you're not constantly worried if you're gonna wake up in the morning, be able to make it to where you're trying to go. Doesn't listen. It wasn't 2 months after that, he calls me, says, hey, I'm at the junkyard, I'm pulling another transmission. Put a transmission in the Bronco. Then he and his girlfriend bought I think it was a 90 F-150, and excuse me, bought it knowing it needed a transfer case. Gets it, puts a new transfer case in it, and sure enough, a couple weeks later, he calls me, hey, I'm at the junkyard again, I'm buying a transmission for the truck. So anyways, long story short, my brother's got some uncanny luck when it comes to vehicles and transmissions, and he's actually working on getting that transmission put in that YJ today. out in Colorado. But he called to, you know, bitch because it's 17 degrees in Colorado. And the first thing out of his mouth was, I should have listened to you and just gotten orders back to Fort Bragg, where it would have been 50 degrees. He was like, I'll buy a house in your neighborhood, and then when something breaks, you can come over and help me. And I was like, well, you know, you're over 1,000 miles away now, so I'm not getting on an airplane to come over there and help you work on that. You kind of got to live where you live or lay in the bed that you made, you know. But anyways, like he's almost got it done. I think last night they were working on it, and my nephew CJ, 13, starting to learn how to wrench, was putting on the U-joint clamps on the rear drive shaft on the yoke. And Will said, yeah, I was there and I heard some rustling, and then all of a sudden I heard this snap, and apparently CJ had grabbed the wrench, and Will had told him, you know, make sure it's nice and tight, you know, we don't need that coming loose. Well, he put every little bit of his, you know, 85-pound self behind that, and was pretty much trying to monkey bar off of the wrench and snap that bolt clean off in the yoke. And so told Will, you know, today it looks like you're busting out with a welder and a nut to try to get that off. And he's just constantly putting it off. This has been an ongoing battle with him for what, 3-4 weeks now with his transmission. Just 6th gear or 5th gear let go on him. Just one day driving down the road. I just think he's just too rough on stuff. But anyways, sorry about the big tangent. Just thought I'd let you guys know a couple things that go on and a little bit more about me. But let me get these tools put up, and I'll bring you back. We'll talk a little bit more on the drive out to I don't know where yet, and I'll bring you guys back then. All right, welcome back. We are pulling out right now. Got my partner in crime with me, my lab Walker Coonhound. His name is Chesty Puller. He is starting to learn the role of Jeep dog because his sister, Peaches, who's a mini shepherd, she's getting a little older, and she's unable to get in the Jeep anymore. Starting to really limp. So his big goofy ass is sitting in the Jeep, you know, ready to go do what we got to do. But we got the WeBoost on. I can see the light in the back. We're solid green, so you know, so far so good. But what I think we're gonna end up doing is probably just hitting some of the trails that are around the Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty area. I know a lot of them you're not able to fly a drone. Like that's been kind of a big struggle around here, is just that drone footage, trying to find a place or an area to film, have fun, and get that drone footage. I run the Mavic 3 Pro, so with DJI software, if you're in an area that is like a restricted or a no-fly zone, it won't even let you take off with the drone. I mean, I've seen other people get footage and they're like, yeah, it's a restricted area, but as long as I keep it below, you know, 250, 300 feet, I really don't have any issues out of it. Nobody really says anything to me. But they're running other brands of you know, drones. But we're gonna see what we can do out here, see if everything pans out. I'll show you guys kind of like the little bit of area that's around here that everybody likes to call like the playground, where they go and, you know, mall crawlers go out there and get a little mud on the tires, and then like to go to their little events and say, hey, yeah, you know, I'm a Jeeper, this, that, and the other, and you know, no hate on them. You know, I respect everybody's rig, but it's, you know, I'm a firm believer, if you build something for a purpose, then use it for that purpose, and don't try to impress somebody who's not in that likeliness. You know, like I don't take my Jeep to a Jeep show and say, hey, you know, Texas Lake. Texas Lake is going to be direct to our east. But we're just going to cruise through here. There's a little flat, kind of open area where I'd like to just sit and, you know, try out the WeBoost and just let it sit for a few minutes. While driving, I keep getting that feedback, and I'm unsure what I'm doing wrong on it, because I mean, I've checked all of the like the connectors, everything like that, and I mean, honestly, like, this antenna placement is the farthest that I can get it away from each other, you know, the two antennas. So if this doesn't work, then I may have to shoot an email to WeBoost and see what options I have, if any. It may just turn out to be where, you know, a Jeep TJ is just so dang small, you can't really run a WeBoost. Yeah, and this is that area I was talking about earlier, where they were doing construction. It looks like they brought everything down, but you know, let's go through here and do a little bit of flexing and seeing what these little trenches are about, because this is all open now. Yeah, they've really dug everything out surrounding the whole area. This used to be where you could go and like climb and, you know, have a little bit of fun, but you know what, I think we can make that. Let's see here. I think we can climb up that right there. Chesty, chill, bro. Just put her in 4 low. Sand. We'll back up, then we'll give her another go. There we go. Awesome. She's still got it in her. Are disengaged. So we're gonna head over there. I know you can barely see that trail through the woods, but we're gonna head that general direction, and that's that cleared out area. Looks like they did do quite a bit of burning out here, getting ready for the spring. Try not to spill my coffee. I'm gonna let you run around here in a minute, buddy. He's itching to get out there and run through the woods, smell everything, pee on everything, you know, do the dog things. But yeah, like right now, I just reset the WeBoost, and just a little bit of driving, it's still showing that feedback error. I'm kind of stumped on that at this point, but maybe. Wait, would you quit it? I'm gonna let you out. You and your attitude today. Oh. Maybe something did come loose. Who knows? I could have swore I checked everything. Yeah, they've done a lot of work to these little fire breaks and trails and stuff out here. I know for a while they were doing like nighttime driving, and like old 1165, what are they, 1135 Humvees, stuff like that. We actually had a little funny story about that. The other group of us out here, we're just doing like a nighttime ride, coming out here, you know, hanging out on a Friday or Saturday night, and we come around a turn back up the trail there, and you got to think, you got three vehicles with off-road lights on, and we come around this bend, and there's like 4 Humvees with these privates running night vision. And oh man, I felt bad. I felt bad because they got straight Jesus to the face, like the sun. And I guess one of the instructor for the driving class, he came out and he's like, what are you guys doing out here? And we're like, hey, they reported, you know, no training going on, so we're out here quote unquote fishing. And you know, those privates, E3s, were all, you know, kind of cussing us because they were halfway blinded. But anyways, I thought it was kind of funny. This right here, this has been like a little bit of a project of a couple buddies and I. So where that log is across the water, the closest one. Here, let me let him out so he can run around. Go on, dude. Where that log is, there used to be a culvert underneath it, and you know, the water would flow pretty well, and you would have like a very, very small water crossing to go through, and you could get to the other side, and there's some decent trails over there. Yeah, actually circles all the way around and dumps you out in Spring Lake behind the McDonald's. But some beavers came in and they had dammed up the culvert, and by doing so, enough water pressure built up and actually slid the culvert into those woods over there to the right. And then ever since then, they have just been building up this dam, building up. Well, every spring and summer, get a group of guys together, we come out here and we try to tear apart this beaver dam, and we get it to where we can actually, you know, use the crossing. And normally by spring of the following year, it's back looking like this from those beavers. I wish Fort Bragg would really open it up to, you know, the nuisance species, where you could come out here and you could actually kill them and get rid of them, because they really mess up some of these trails out here, and there's not much in the area. But anyways, I talked a lot in this video. I apologize about it, but I'm gonna pull you off of this. I'm gonna open up the back, and we're gonna check over some items on this WeBoost and see if we can't get it working, because it's really starting to bother me. All right, so on the back, like I said, antenna's here. Oh, that's coming loose a little bit. You have one connection here. There is a connection under there, I think. I think that's solid wired together. Comes down, connects here. I heat shrunk it, brought it in. I don't have any pinches anywhere. All of the connections are good. Like, nothing's loose, but I keep getting that red light. Just cannot seem to get rid of that red light. I'll cycle it off and then back on again. Let's see what it does. See, it's still just going solid red. Yeah, there we go. Now we got service. You know what it is? Nope. It's back red again. We're getting some type of feedback. I don't understand. And maybe somebody in the comments can shed some light on the situation. I may just be an idiot, but yeah, still doing the same thing. It was just fine before we left the house. Like, I had green, it was showing, you know, good signal. Unless let's try this. What? And that's Chesty, big goof. Still doing it. Really starting to smell that axle shaft leak. That's something that developed from the last video, me going to Colorado and me coming home, somehow or another, the Jeep not being driven developed an axle shaft leak. So kind of did some price comparisons, got a quote from a shop, see how much they would charge for, you know, both sides, $750. Did a price comparison with parts. So the time key set 10 bearings, seals, bearing retainers, and new mounting plate, $111 for both sides. But then I have to go out and buy a new tool, which is a press, $169 from the Hazard Freight, which, I mean, a new tool would be cool. So $300, right? Where East Coast Gear Supply, which is local to North Carolina, chromoly axle shafts, 30 spline, pre-assembled with bearing seals, bearing retainers, and new plates, I think it was $375. I think I'm going to go with that one, because then it's just remove, install. You know, you're not fighting with having to cut the old bearings off, the bearing retainers off, you know, pressing the new ones on, and worried about you got the bearing on straight or not. You know, it's just, it's already done. Throw them in, and it's an upgrade to chromoly axle shafts. So I think that's what we're going to do, and that's going to be a video for next weekend. I'm going to bring you guys with me. We're going to jack up the rear end of the Jeep and do some surgery. But back to this WeBoost. I don't know. If anybody's got some insight, please share it with me, because I'm about to just take it off, throw it in the closet, and that's where it's going to be. But anyways, on to the other stuff. I mean, what do you guys want to see? You know, throw it in the comments. We can do anything. You know, weekends are open. It's starting to get nice again. We can do some fishing, some camping, things like that. But yeah. All right, y'all. I think I have figured it out. So I just undid everything, and I got a solid green light. And what I'm going to end up having to do is the wires for the antenna. I'm going to have to run them down the side here, down under the seat, and then up. And I'm thinking mounting that internal antenna right about here. Move the coffee cup out of the way. Putting that antenna here, or I mean somewhere in this general area. Did a little bit of looking online, and found another forum. Guy with a TJ had the same exact issue, and I was hyper focused on just distance, like horizontal distance, and you know, based on where this antenna is in relation to where it was, the inside transmitter was, they were almost directly in parallel. And this guy said, hey, you know, even, you know, 6 inches of vertical separation, you shouldn't get that feedback anymore. The minute I took everything down, dropped it, green light popped on and stayed on. So I think that's it. So now it's just a matter of trying to figure out how to route it. Big thing with my Jeep, with everything being truck bed lined on the inside, it's really hard to, you know, instead of just put them in a loom, throwing them underneath the carpet, calling it a day, you know, you really got to map out how to put the wires out of the way. You know, when you throw gear in the back, things like that, you know, you don't want them rubbing on anything. You guys know. But we're gonna head back to the house and see if we can't figure out a good way to route them. I think I got a couple little of these 3M sticky clips. They a little about 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch squares, but they have a little zip tie hole on them, so that I can stick them to the side of the bed rail on the back of the Jeep, use that and run the wire down it, then go underneath the seat and then up by that the center console, and I think we should be good there. Oh, watch out, buddy. Watch out for the stick.